Eyebrow waxing. Clara always thought her eyebrows were too bushy. Having good eyebrows was becoming a very popular trend among girls. Clara's friend, Rachel, offered to take her to a salon to wax her eyebrows. Clara didn't like that idea. She didn't want a stranger to be so close to her face. Rachel offered to give Clara waxing products so she can fix her eyebrows herself. Clara said okay. Clara went over to Rachel's house to get the eyebrow waxing material. She then went to Rachel's bathroom. Clara was nervous. What if she did it wrong? She slowly spread the wax on her eyebrows. A couple minutes later, she pulled the wax off. Ouch! Clara yelled. Clara looked in the mirror. Her eyebrows were gone. She had accidentally pulled off too much of it. She screamed. Rachel went in the bathroom to check on her. I heard screaming. What's wrong? Rachel asked. Clara turned around and pointed at her face. Rachel tried to hide her laugh. It's not funny, Clara said. Well, it kind of is, because you were worried that you had too much hair before, and now you have none, Rachel said.
A soccer star. Soccer is a very popular team sport worldwide. Many people love to watch it. Hong Myung-bo is a famous soccer player. He started playing soccer in 1990. He played for the Pohang Steelers for 6 years. Then he played for the Los Angeles Galaxy. He was the first Korean to play for a major league soccer team in the United States now. He is a coach for the South Korean soccer team. Hong is famous because he played soccer well. He played in more than 125 international games. He also played in 4 World Cups. He played in the World Cup in 1990, 1994, 1998, and 2002. Hong won 2 soccer awards in 2002. His team won the award for the most entertaining team in the World Cup. People thought it was fun to watch Hong's team play soccer. Hong also won the Adidas Bronze Ball Award. This award was for his outstanding performance in the game. Even though Hong did not play in the final game, he played well.
Keeping fit. We all need regular exercise to keep fit. But if we study all day, we don't have time to run, swim, lift weights, or play basketball. What can we do to stay in shape? One thing we could do is walk more often. Walking is good exercise. Instead of going to school by car or bus, we could walk. During recess, we could go outside and stroll around before we go back to class. Instead of taking the elevator in buildings all the time, we could use the stairs. Another important thing is to take breaks from studying. If we sit at our desks or in front of a computer for a long time, we should stand up and stretch our arms and legs once each hour. If we stand for a long time, we should sit down and stretch our backs.
Oh yes, man. Paul tried hard to please everyone and had a hard time saying no to anything when people asked him to do exciting things. Paul said yes, so people would think he's a fun guy. He also said yes to exciting things because he thought life was too short not to try new things. When people asked him to do favors for them, Paul said yes because he wanted people to like him. His agreement to everything was a big problem when he was busy with homework, chores, or any other personal commitments. One time he had a test that was worth 50% of his final grade, and the day before it, he decided to go skydiving with his neighbor. Skydiving took about 5 hours, and Paul couldn't get home until 11 p.m. By then he was tired and found it hard to focus on studying. Another time, Paul's friend asked if he could turn in her paper for her at 3 p.m. Paul had to be at his soccer game at 3:10 p.m. Any other person would have said no, but not Paul. Paul turned in the paper for his friend, ran to the gym to change, and then arrived at the soccer game 10 minutes late.
Christmas spirit. Kenneth and Leslie raised their kids to have Christmas spirit. They do all the Christmas traditions, everything from decorating the house with lights to putting a star on top of the Christmas tree. The kids even think that Santa Claus is real. This all changed when Kenneth and Leslie's son, Thomas, saw Kenneth put a bunch of Christmas presents under the Christmas tree late at night. Thomas gasped. He was upset that his parents lied to him. "Mom, Dad, why didn't Santa come this year?" "I saw you two putting gifts under the tree," he said. Kenneth and Leslie looked at each other with worries. "Well, son, the truth is, Santa didn't have time to put them under the tree, so he gave them to me and your mom," Kenneth said. Leslie was impressed with her husband's ability to come up with a lie so quickly. "You know, a lot of kids at school say that Santa isn't real," Thomas said. "Well, they're lying, honey. They just want to make you feel bad," Leslie said. "Really? Well, can you prove it by bringing me to Santa Claus?" Thomas asked. "Well, we can bring him to you," Kenneth said. An hour later, Kenneth entered the house in a Santa Claus costume. Valentine's hater. Linda loved her husband Tom, but she hated Valentine's Day. She thought it was lame and pointless. She thought it was dumb that couples acted especially nice to each other on Valentine's. She believed that lovers should treat every day like Valentine's Day. Tom had flowers delivered to Linda's workplace on Valentine's Day. When she saw them on her desk, she rolled her eyes. Tom knew she hated Valentine's Day. She also thought that flowers were a waste of money. They died so quickly. She could never understand why anyone would pay over $30 for a bouquet of flowers. When Linda got home after work, she asked Tom why he sent her flowers. "I know you hate Valentine's, but I saw my friend play the piano in front of his wife for Valentine's, so I wanted to do something special," Tom said. Linda smiled. Even though she hated Valentine's, she felt loved by her husband.
Hiking in Iran. Most people think that the Middle East is only a desert. This is far from true. Last year, I went hiking in Iran. Iran has many mountains. You can find trees that lose their leaves in winter. If you're lucky, you may see a yellow deer or a brown bear. To species that live there, the air is fresh and you can swim in clear, clean lakes. I definitely recommend it. There are so many birds to see. It is fun to go into the forest with binoculars to look at birds. Seeing the birds through binoculars makes them seem much nearer than they actually are. You can write down all of the species that you see. You should learn about their calls first. That means the sounds that each bird makes. Sometimes it's hard to see the birds. However, you can identify them if you happen to hear them. I want to go back to Iran again someday. It's so beautiful that I want to see and explore much more of it.
A good way to travel. Traveling is a good hobby. If you have very little money, backpacking is a good way to travel. Many students like to backpack. They can travel cheaply. They can travel to many places. These travelers carry their belongings in large backpacks. They are called backpackers. Backpackers take buses or trains to save money. They camp outdoors to sleep. If they stay in a city, they may go to a hostel. A hostel is like a hotel. Hotels are not cheap. Hostels are very cheap. Travelers often share rooms at hostels. There are only a few toilets and baths. People share them, too. Hostels are a good place to meet other travelers. You can make friends. They can tell you about fun things to do in the area. Many hostels have kitchens. These kitchens have stoves. Some have toasters. You can buy your food from a store. Then, you can cook at the hostel. This is cheaper than eating out. Just remember to clean up when you are done.
A train announcement. Welcome on board the TGV 740. We are now leaving Paris. We will arrive in Marseilles at 3 p.m. We offer free beverages in each car. Please have as much coffee, tea, or soft drinks as you wish. There is a restaurant on the train. You may purchase a meal there during the trip. The restaurant is in car 11. We will make 2 stops on this trip. We will pick up passengers in Provence and Dijon. Passengers changing trains can ask the attendant for a free timetable. This will help you with your onward trip. Please note that smoking is only permitted in cars 15 and 23. Newspapers are given to all passengers. Mobile phones and the internet may be used in cars 18 and 25. If you need assistance, please press the button near your seat to contact a cabin attendant. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip. We are pleased to have you on board. We look forward to serving you again in the future.
A foreign accent. Ing moved to the U.S. when she was 15 years old. She was born in China and had a Chinese accent when she spoke. She didn't like her accent because it made her sound funny, and people sometimes couldn't understand what she said. Ing also knew that people made fun of her accent. Ying's history teacher made everyone go up in front of the class and recite a part of the Constitution of the United States. Ing didn't want to do it. She asked her teacher if she could record herself and send it to him. The teacher said no, because that would be unfair to everyone else. Ing then said that it was unfair that everyone had an American accent. The teacher told her to take classes to get rid of her Chinese accent. Ing took her history teacher's advice and took a class on getting rid of the foreign accent. The class was filled with people like Ing. The teacher had Ing and the other students pronounce things. After a week, Ing didn't see an improvement. She decided to stop going to class and start loving her accent. She shouldn't have to change herself. People should like her the way she is.